Retro Sports Network presents Primetime Baseball, 1982 style, from Royal Stadium in Kansas City on Saturday, May 15th, 1982. It's the Boston Red Sox and the Kansas City Royals. And a very good special Thursday evening to you. Hope your Valentine's Day is going well, that you actually did something for someone special in your life, if that's there. Normally we would do this on a Wednesday, but we did something else last night after someone else had a game, and so we're doing this. The normal Thursday afternoon game is a prime time affair between the 17 and 16 Boston Red Sox and 17 and 14 Kansas City Royals. Unlike most games where I do the home team, I'm actually managing the Red Sox because that's my prerogative. And so the pitching matchup is Vida Blue for Kansas City and Mike Torres for the Red Sox. Both of these teams are in danger of playing themselves out of the playoff race. Now, as I said, this is the end of the 6th week. It's Saturday, May 15th. This would be when the Preakness would be normally run. But the Red Sox and the Royals are already training their first place counterparts by 8 games. The Red Sox are 17 and 16, and Detroit is just on fire in the American League East. And California has a 5-game bulge over many teams, including the Kansas City Royals, who are 17 and 14. So, they did not play last night. The Friday night game was rained out. It's 75 degrees. Winds are blowing from right to left at 15. Just a beautiful day for baseball here in Kansas City, as we take you to the field. And I opened up the chat. Vida Blue is on the hill. It says Vida's second appearance in this replay. 491 on the year. The ERA 3-2. 33 innings, 22 hits allowed. This is his 6th start of the year. His last time out was against Milwaukee 5 days ago. He took the win. 6 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs. All earned. He walked 4 and struck out 7. He has walked 16 and struck out 15. So control is an issue. I believe we had him against the Tigers, who lit him right up. The lineup that Vida Blue will face: Jerry Remy leads off the Red Sox, plays second. Let's picture of Jerry there. Dwight Evans is in right, he'll bat second. Jim Rice, the left fielder, will bat third. Tony Perez, in this predominantly right-handed lineup, will be the DH. He'll clean up. Carney Lansford will bat fifth and play third. Dave Stapleton, the first baseman, will bat sixth. Glenn Hoffman, the shortstop, will bat seventh. Gary Allenson, the catcher, will bat eighth, and Rick Miller, the only other lefty in the lineup, will bat ninth. I bet you see Carl Yastrzemski when Blue is gone. I don't know why that was helpful with you. Thank you. All right, so thanks. So Combat Painter is here, and Dave Gardner. Hope Dave's doing well. So welcome if you haven't been here before. All right, so I gave you the lineup. Here's the defense for Kansas City. Willie Wilson's in left. Unusual for him. He's an 8-2. Amos Otis is 7-5 in center. Jerry Martin is in right. He's an 8-5. George Brett at third. Really, the last game we did for the Royals, Brett was in left field, which was a strange one. Greg Pryor, Facebook friend, is a 2 at short. Frank White at second. And Willie Mays as a 10 at second. Willie Mays Aikens is at first. And John Wathan, the hard-stealing catcher, 7-7 behind the plate for Blue. So Blue is ready. Remy at 336 on the year with 10 RBI. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Dave. Thoughts are with you, buddy. And hope things improve soon. So Vida Blue is ready, and so is Jerry Remy. And we start the game with Remy hitting a ground ball base hit up the middle. Pass between Pryor and White, and Remy's on first. So Boston starts this game out with a single. Dwight Evans at the plate, 298, 4 homers and 17 RBI. For whatever reason, Boston and New York's winning percentages aren't shown, but you can see where they are in the standings. Detroit has won 6 straight. Baltimore is trying to keep pace, but they're already 5 back. And in the West, Kansas City is 5 behind California, who've won 8 of their last 10. And Kansas City has split the difference at 5 and 5. You'll see a lot of California next week on this channel. Tuesday afternoon, they will play Milwaukee and what might be an American League Championship Series redo from the real year. On Wednesday night in prime time, it's the Phillies and the Braves. And then Thursday at lunch, it'll be California at Detroit, which if the season ended today would be the American League Championship Series. So Evans steps in, right at 290. I told you that already. Pitch from Blue, and Evans hits one into left field. That's going to get past Willie Wilson. Remy goes to third. Remy's going to score. Evans is going for 3. The throw, and the Brett is not in time. And so the Red Sox score first. And that's good because they're going with Mike Torres. The 82 version is kind of vintage in all the wrong ways. Here's Jim Rice. He's at 272, 6 homers and 27 RBI. Evans on third, 1-0 Boston, just the start of things here on a Thursday night. Pitch to Rice, ball 4. And again, that's not the start that Blue had in mind. He hasn't retired a batter. Here's Tony Perez. Tony at 245 with a homer and 8 RBI. Pitch from Blue. There's a fly ball to left. Wilson on the wet turf makes the catch for the out. Evans will score without a throw, and it's 2-0 Boston. Carney Lansford to the plate, 263, a homer and 14 RBI. These two teams were rained out Friday night, which is why you didn't get the normal what happened in the last game open. And I imagine if there's not a doubleheader Sunday, I didn't look. But they'll make it up at some point along the line. Remember, American League teams in this era, when they went out of the division, played each other 12 times. 13 within and 12 outside. The National League was much more unbalanced. 18 within and 10 outside. Blues pitch, there's a ground ball to Brett. Over to White for 1. Over to Akins, who's a 5 at first. And they turn to 2. So Kansas City gets out of it, but not before the Red Sox put... How you doing, Laser King? Red Sox put 2 on the board to start the game. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors. After half an inning, Boston 2. Here come the Royals. And Mike Torres is actually off to a good start for 1982. You can see the real numbers, and like I said, they're rather vintage. But Torres is 1-1 on the year with a 3.31 ERA. This is start number 7. His last outing was against the Twins on May 10th, on this Sunday. 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs all earned. He walked 4 and struck out 4. The win came against the Twins on the 5th, and he lost his first start of the year to the White Sox. And so somewhere there's a complete game. It must have been the 6th rain shortened it complete game. So the last 18 or 17 innings, he's given up 9 earned runs. And this is the lineup he's going to face. Willie Wilson will lead off. John Wathan batting second. George Brett will hit third. Willie Mays Akins will bat fourth. Avis Otis will hit fifth. A heavy righty lineup here. Hal McRae, the DH for Kansas City, will hit 6th. Jerry Martins in right will bat 7th. Frank White will hit 8th, and Greg Fryer will bat 9th. Vida Blue, 110 pitches. Through 27 the first. No, there are no actual rainouts. It's an as-played schedule, so the game itself in real life was rained out. So I don't expect any weather issues today. It's windy, clear 75, but as you can see from the picture, it's not too far with what those day games were like in Kansas City after a night game. Obviously, the tarp on the field kept the middle of it dry, but it took a while for that outfield to dry out. So the defense around Mike Torres. Jim Rice is 6-5 in left. Rick Miller is 7-5 in center, and Dwight Evans at 10-8 in right. Connie Lansford at 5 at third. Glenn Hoffman at 6 at short. Jerry Remy at 5 at second. Dave Stapleton's at first, and I don't know that number off the top of my head. And Gary Allenson with the lefty on the mound for Kansas City is a 5-8 behind the plate. Willie Wilson at 233 with an RBI. Always a threat to steal. Hits this one to right and foul. Boom! So it's an 0-2 count to Stapleton. If you didn't see it, was a 6. So a decent Red Sox defense. Pitch to Wilson, ground ball to Hoffman over, and Hoffman boots it. He gets the throw over to Stapleton, and somehow it's an out. Hoffman looked quite unstable there, and Wilson has good speed, but I think Willie thought that Hoffman had it and didn't go full bore down the line. So a lucky out for the Red Sox, and here's John Wathan. 258, a homer and 7 RBI, and 9 stolen bases on the year already. He stole 36. I would venture to guess, historians in the chat, that Wathan's 36, at least in the live ball era, is a record for a catcher, maybe an all-time record. Pitch from Torres. That's a bunt, and no one's going to get it because Uncle Ron was paying attention to the chat and not to the game itself. So Wathan reaches with a single, and as slow as Willie Wilson was on that, Wathan is that much faster, and that's the first hit for Kansas City. Here's George Brett, a rare case of him hitting under 300, 269, 3 homers, and 13 RBI. Torres throws to Stapleton, and Wathan's back easily. And thanks for the kind words, Mr. Mike. Pitch from Torres and throw down to Stapleton. Wathan's back. So Gary Allenson with a snap throw on the first pitch. Pitches a ball, and Wathan is still at first. Pitch to Brett. There goes Wathan. Throw down to Hoffman, and that's not in time. That is the 10th steal for Wathan, and this is the Royals' 32nd game of the year. So runner on second. 2-0 Boston, bottom of the first. Pitch from Torres. Ball 4. Kind of the non-intentional, just go ahead and take it, walk to Brett. Now bring up Willie Aikens. 228, 3 homers, and 13 RBI. That's true. Torres delivers, and that's a liner in the left center field. Miller will cut it off. Wathan will try for home. Miller's got an average arm. The throw gets past Allenson, and everybody moves up 90 feet. So that was a terrible throw by Miller. And not only does the run score, Kansas City now has 2 on and scoring position and 1 out. And yeah, Mr. Mike brings up the point in the chat, and I'll bring it up here. Combat Painter did the last 10 games of Thurman Munson's career. So from the latter part of July and early part of August of 1982, and that was tough because Combat sounds like he's a Yankee fan, and Thurman Munson was the first captain of the New York Yankees since Lou Gehrig. I mean, that's pretty amazing company, and so kudos for you for doing that. Now, before I go back in the game, sir, did you know that Munson's last at-bats are actually on YouTube? And Al's right as we get back to the game action. Kansas City's a house of horrors. Is a Mets fan. Look up the channel Yanks at Shea. That's all one word. And among the treasure trove of goodies he's got there is Munson's last at-bat. Followed, I believe, by the Scooter and Bill White. All right, back to the game. Torres in some trouble here in the bottom of the first, and Al's right. Kansas City was not a favorite place for the Red Sox in this era. Torres delivers, and that's a base hit in the right center. Brett will score. Aikens will at least round third. Here he comes. Miller will get the chance to redeem himself, and he is out at the plate. Oh, mercy. It was a good, strong throw. Aikens is not a slouch running. He dove to the bag, and Allenson was there. So 2 out, but the game is tied at 2. Here in the first. So give Otis an RBI. And that brings up Hal McRae at 325, 4 home runs and 17 RBI. 20 pitches for Torres. Nope, Rick Miller. It's the agony and the ecstasy. And we could see that 2 or 3 more times as the afternoon wears on. Pitch from Torres. McRae hits this one in the right. Evans is there, and that retires the side. So Kansas City does the 6-2 and even routine. 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors. We've played 1. I'm taking a drink. And it's Boston 2, Kansas City 2. Yeah, the Mercer game, not the murder game, but yes. And that's up there, and it's amazing what you find on YouTube. So it'll be Dave Stapleton, Glenn Hoffman, and Gary Allenson. Stapleton at 209 on the year, 2 homers and 20 RBI. Nice mustache there for Dave. So pitching duel this is not. Pitch to Stapleton is a fly ball in the center. Otis goes back to the track and makes an easy catch. And here's Hoffman. Glenn at 182, 3 homers and 12 RBI. And Blue delivers a ground ball to White, who makes a fantastic diving stop to his right over to Aikens. He makes the play. And so White makes the stab, lays on that kind of dry part of the turf, and throws to Aikens for the out. So 2 quick out for Gary Allenson at 170. I don't even think he's hitting his weight. And 2 RBI. Pitch from Blue. Ground ball to Aikens. We'll flip it to Blue, and that retires the side. So the Red Sox go down quietly in the second. Nothing across after 1.5. It's Boston 2, the Royals 2. Martin, White, and Pryor coming up for the Royals. About the only bad thing you can say about this park is the fact that at the time it had turf. Such a beautiful stadium. And Kansas City was right. They did not do the cookie cutter thing. They built a stadium for the Chiefs, and now everyone plays on the grass in Kansas City. Martin at 306, 3 homers and 9 RBI. Unfortunately for me, for the Royals in the playoffs as a kid in the late 70s, it was not a house of horror for those Yankees. Pitch to Martin, popped up left side, Lansford way out of play. And the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Torres delivers, ball 4. So we had an 0-2 count to Jerry Martin, and he lost him. Second walk for Torres. Here's Frank White. He's scuffling a bit, 250, a homer and 17 RBI. He has struck out 21 times in his first 100 bats. He was not a strikeout hitter. Torres' pitch. There's a ground ball to Remy. Hoffman for 1, and there will be no throw to first. So again, the artificial surface makes that ball go quicker. But most of these Royals have pretty good speed. And Hoffman was right not to rush the throw. So here's Greg Pryor at 350. Already at 3 home runs and 8 RBI. Yeah. Oh no, New York lost the first 2 games in the 80 here, and then, but the heartwarming thing was the home run in the upper deck was at Yankee Stadium. One of my favorite moments of childhood. Pitch to Greg Pryor is a liner in the right. Evans is there, and he throws to Stapleton. Oh, White, was that a hit and run? They might have hit and run there. And White got back to first. What a gun by Evans to try to double White off of first. So that's once around the lineup for Torres. 38 pitches for 9 batters, an inning and 2/3. 3 hits, he's walked 2, and has an ERA in the game of 10.80. And I would do the victory sign in Morse code and tell you that this is WTIC in Hartford, but no one's going to get that joke. Willie's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. And so Torres is all over the plate. He walked Willie on a full count up and in, and that brings up the dangerous John Wathan, who singled, scored, stole a base, all his first time up. 2-2, bottom of the second, 2 out. Pitch from Torres, Wathan up the middle. Remy with a diving stop to his left, twists and throws to Stapleton to retire the side. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Kansas City strands 2 after 2. Boston 2, Kansas City 2. Yep. Randolph thrown out the plate. Dick Hauser fired because George Steinbrenner had the patience. Well, he didn't have any patience then. He learned it after a while, but not in 1980. Here's Rick Miller. 284, no homers, and 7 RBI. And as you saw, Al in the first inning went to the John Smith School of Baseball. Pitch from Blue is a little looper in the right that's going to get down for a hit. Frank White should have snagged that. Not many poor plays from a 10 fielder. And so Miller is on. So the first 9 batters for Vida Blue in a not-so-tidy 50 pitches. 2 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned. A walk and no strikeouts. Remy singled and scored his first time up. And the pitch here is a little chaser in the right center. That's going to drop for a hit. Miller will hold at second. And now you're bringing up the big power guy in Dwight Evans, who tripled his first time up. Drove in Remy and scored himself. He had 32 on the year. He's got 4 in the replay. So Blue in trouble here in the third. Here's the pitch. There's a chaser in the left that's going to get down. Miller will hold at third. And with nobody out, here's Jimmy Rice, who walked his first time up. First person who mentions 463 gets a permanent ban. Just putting it out there. So bases are loaded, nobody out. It's Miller on third. Remy would score on a single, and Evans would give it a pretty good run if that can roll around for a while. Blue delivers, struck him out. So Rice chased on a 1-2 pitch for strike 3, and that'll bring up Tony Perez, who had a sac fly his first time up. Okay, yep. Hi, Rob, how are you? Here's the pitch from Blue. Perez lines one to Pryor, who has to leap and make a nice catch. He saved at least a run, if not 2. And so 2 out, and the Red Sox, in typical Boston fashion, have runners in scoring position and cannot bring them home. Which is why I don't do a lot of Red Sox games. Just gives me agita. Here's Carney Lansford. He grounded into a double play his first time up. 0 for 1. And he draws a walk. And so he forces home Miller. And so it's 3-2 Boston. And Blues throwing 24 pitches here in the third inning. And here's Dave Stapleton. He's 0 for 1. Pitch from Blue. Stapleton, fly ball to left. Wilson back in the corner, and the Red Sox will leave him loaded. If Blazer King is still here, hopefully he gets a smile out of that. A run on 3 hits and no errors. They leave him loaded after 2.5. Boston 3, Kansas City 2. So Brett, Akins, and Otis for the Royals here in the third. Don't forget tonight at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, on the OG's channel, Devin the OG. It's the ladies of his wrestling tour on a Valentine's Day pay-per-view event that you do not want to miss. All the hijinks at 9 o'clock Eastern on the original Grognard's channel right here on YouTube. Pitch to Brett is a fly ball to shallow center. Miller is there, and he makes a diving catch to make the out. So some water came up, a little bit of rug burn to get him out. Yep, sad house of horrors from our youth, Al, absolutely. But surprisingly enough, this team won 89 games. They actually have a very good bullpen. Their starting pitching isn't very good. But if Detroit falters and Baltimore and Milwaukee can't pick it up, then the Red Sox aren't out of this yet. I think the Royals have a much better chance of doing damage against California, but this Red Sox team contended in 82. Willie Aiken singled and drove in a run in the first. Pitch from Torres is a fly ball to shallow center. In comes Miller again on his horse for the out. So 2 out for Amos Otis, who singled and drove in a run. Drove in Brett, as a matter of fact, to make the game 2-2. Pitch from Mike. There's a liner in the right center field. Otis will hold with a single. And so that's a 2-out single for Hal McRae, who's 0 for 1. 4th hit for the Royals. Red Sox have 5. Pitch from Torres is a ground ball that gets past Remy up the middle. Otis goes to third, so the 2-out hits are hurt Torres, who really needed a quick inning. Jerry Martin walked his first time up, one of the 3 on Torres' card this afternoon. Here's the pitch. Little number down to Lansford. Throws to Remy to get the force to retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. After 3, it's the Red Sox 3, the Royals 2. No, I think Boggs just stole the torch from him. Yep, 80 through 82, Combat Painter. Boggs would come up and place him first that year in 82. And, you know, Wade Boggs is just a tremendous hitter, and they thought Carney was washed up. And Carney went up to Oakland and had a tremendous second half of his career. Yeah, I forgot who they got for him. Yes, Al is right. Boggs came up as a first baseman. Wasn't bad either. Not a great defensive third baseman, but not as terrible as people thought he was going to be. Hoffman, by the way, is 0 for 1. I would say that most people would remember him combat as an A. Had some good years with the Angels too, but he was a big part of those A's teams that won the American League a few times. Blue delivers, and Hoffman lines out into Willie Mays Aikens. Held him the line at first for 1 out. For Gary Allenson, who's 0 for 1. Blue delivers, and there's a little number that's going to get into right center field. So a blooper, and Allenson's on with a single. 6th hit for the Red Sox. And here's Rick Miller, who singled and scored in the 3rd. Oh, was that Armas? I guess that wasn't such a bad deal there for the first couple of years. Armas had 40-some-odd homers. And now post the link so you can join the original Grognard at 9 o'clock for a fun show. Miller 1 for 1. Struck him out. And so Blue is done. He called for the trainer, and Jim Wright's coming in. So Blue's day is done. And so Wright gets as much time as he needs. Yeah, Armas would make sense. Wright gets as much time as he needs to warm up with 2 outs and a runner on here in the 4th. Wright has made 7 relief appearances. In fact, this will be his 8th. He'll have thrown more. He has thrown 10 1/3 innings, has a 1-0 record, an ERA of 6.97. Allowed 15 hits. He last pitched on the 15th, or the 10th. Against Milwaukee and was Christmas tree. 2 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs all earned, and a strikeout. And today's his last day with the team. Not sure he realizes that yet, but it's his last day with the team. So it'll be Remy, who is 2 for 2. singled twice and scored once. And Wright delivers, and there's a pop-up in the infield. Pryor on the dirt by second makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. Boston strands another. After 3.5, it's Boston 3, the Royals 2. And so to close the book on Blue, he leaves after 3 2/3 innings. 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned. Walked 2, struck out 2, 88 pitches. That's a lot of pitches. 65 strikes and 23 balls. He can lose it, he cannot win it. Frank White is 0 for 1. And Torres starts the bottom of the 4th with a fly ball to center. Back goes Miller to the track. He'll turn and watch it go. And so Frank White, with some rare power, ties the game on a bomb to center field. That's his 2nd of the year. And there wasn't anything Miller could do about that. So that makes the score 3-3. And brings up Greg Pryor, who's 0 for 1. His great defensive play robbed the Red Sox of at least a run. Earlier on. Got him! 0-2 pitch on the inside corner, strike 3. So that's the first strikeout for Torres, as he now starts his 3rd trip through the Kansas City lineup. On 72 pitches, 3 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, all in, including a home run. He has walked 3, including Wilson once, and struck out 1. Pitch to Wilson is a little smash down to Stapleton, who does his best version of Pete Peters and makes the catch. So Wathan now, John is 1 for 2. Not going to bunt here with 2 out. Stolen base and a run scored. Torres delivers, and there's a fly ball to shallow left. Rice comes in to make the catch. So the home run from White makes it a tie game. A run on a hit and no errors. We've played 4. It's Boston 3, Kansas City 3. Yep. There's a Mike Torres we remember. Cardinal, pitched for the Orioles for a while. Yankees in 77, so he got his ring. It'll be Evans, Rice, and Perez here for the Red Sox in the top of the 5th. Dewey has tripled and singled, scored a run and drove in one. Right in for the injured Vida Blue. Too bad Tribes fan isn't here. Pitch, and Dewey slaps this one and right to Willie Wilson. That was a blooper, but Wilson played it perfectly for the out. So Rice is 0 for 1. Jim is walked and struck out. Yep, Steve Balboni, up until, what was it, last year, the year before, was the leading single-season home run hitter for Kansas City Royals. He had 36 in 85. One of those players the Yankees gave up on too early. Pitch to Rice is a fly ball to right. Martin goes back. He'll turn and watch it go. Jim Rice with a solo homer to right field makes it 4-3. That's his 7th. And how about this for opposite field power, huh? Right into those seats. That was right, hugged the line, and long gone. So 4-3 Boston. And that brings up Tony Perez, who has a sac fly. He's 0 for 1. So right on cue, Rice tells you that you can homer at Coffin Stadium or Royal Stadium. Pitch to Tony, and that's going to get down all the way to the wall in right field by the bullpen. He's going for 3. The throw to Brett is out. They got him. Tony Perez, I was wondering there for a moment, because Tony does not have great wheels here at the end of his career, and he was just wheeling for third. Martin, with an average arm, put a lot of mustard on that throw, and they got him. Brings up Carney Lansford. So instead of having a runner in scoring position for Carney, he's 0 for 1. He's grounded into a double play, walk, and he forced home run with the walk. 4-3 Boston, 2 out, top of the 5th. Pitch from right, fly ball to right again. Martin in the corner, and he makes the catch to retire the side. Torres has given me the fatigue symbol already. Oops. A run on 2 hits and no errors following the Rice blast. Halfway home at Royal Stadium. It's Boston 4, Kansas City 3. Thank goodness for that iced tea. All right. So George Brett comes up. He starts at the bottom of the fifth. 0 for 1. Walked and scored. And if Torres can stumble his way through the fifth, he can get a second win of the year. Hope you're enjoying this on a Thursday night. Normally we do the primetime game on a Wednesday night, but Uncle Ron got his physical today. They got to come do some blood work, but the doctor pronounced me as 4F. So alive and kind of kicking. That's, as I said, is 0 for 1. Torres is pitching. There's a fly ball to right. Evans should have it, and he does for the out. Willie Aikens now up. Willie's 1 for 2. Has singled and driven in a run. Torres is ready, and Aikens hits this one into left field. Rice is there and makes the catch. A nice play by Jim. So 2 quick out for Torres for Amos Otis, who, as was set up in the chat, was a Met. Mets moved a lot of players in the late 60s and early 70s. Otis 2 for 2. A single twice and driven in a run. Pitch from Torres. A little nubber down to Lansford's going to have to hurry. Throw to Stapleton is in time. And so Torres got a clean inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 5, it's Boston 4, Kansas City 3. So a reminder for those of you that came in late, next week, we're back to our Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday schedule of entertainment for you. The daytime games on Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday, California at Milwaukee. Perhaps a preview of the American League Championship Series from Milwaukee at noon. Then next Wednesday in prime time around 7 o'clock. It'll be Atlanta and Philadelphia, and I cannot remember which facility it's at, as we feature 2 games from Saturday of that week instead of Wednesday. And on the Thursday afternoon, the lunchtime game will be what would be, if the season ended today, the American League Championship Series, the California Angels, and the Detroit Tigers. So that offerings for you on the baseball schedule next week on Retro Sports Network. Stapleton is 0 for 2. Wright delivers, and there's a base hit into right center. Stapleton will round first and hold. And that's the 9th hit for Boston, and the 3rd hit allowed by Wright, who has pitched well. He's only given up the 1 earned run, and that was the home run to Rice. Here's Hoffman. Glenn is 0 for 2. Pitch, and there's a fly ball to right. Martin has it. Catches that frozen rope for the first out. Gary Allenson now. He will bat. He hit 229 against righties. 1 for 2 tonight, or this afternoon. You want to be pedantic. Struck him out. An 0-2 fastball inside on the corner, and he will find the seat. Wright's first strikeout for Rick Miller. Well, he has singled and struck out himself, obviously when Vida Blue was on the mound. Pitch from Wright, fly ball to left. Wilson has it measured, and that does retire the side. After 5.5, no runs to hit, no errors. It's Boston 4, the Royals 3. So Hal McRae 1 for 2. Martin and Frank White to follow. Hal has a single, and Torres still is giving me the fatigue. But if he can get through the inning, we can figure out. Al can start chewing on the volume and figure out if we're going to go with Mark Clear or Bob Stanley. Pitch to McRae is a fly ball to right. Evans. 1 out. Jerry Martin 0 for 1 with a walk. Pitch from Torres is a fly ball to left. Rice moves back a few steps to make the catch. 2 out. So Torres has settled in after a rocky first 4 innings. Frank White hit a solo shot his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Has 8. We're going to talk about it on chat with Al this Saturday. What, me going to the doctor? White ground ball up to Torres, over to Stapleton, and that retires the side. And so we've played 6 here at Royal Stadium, nothing across for Kansas City this time around. It's still Red Sox 4, Royals 3. And so Greg Pryor, I'm sorry, I read the wrong side. Jerry Remy, Dwight Evans, and Jim Rice. Remy's 2 for 3. He has singled twice and scored once. Right ground ball to Pryor. Over to Akins for the out. So we've hit the settle down part of the game. And Rice has actually pitched well in his 2 2/3 innings of relief. Just the one big blast by Rice. Here's Evans. He has singled and tripled, scored and drove in a run. Pitch, ball 4. So Evans draws the walk. Full count, breaking ball inside, and with 1 out, here comes Jim Rice. Rice homered to the opposite field his last time up. He has walked and struck out. 4-3 Boston. 1 out, top the 7th. Don't forget, wrestling at the top of the hour on the original Grottgarns channel. I think Al's got a game following that. So Wathan goes out to talk to Wright. And now the pitch to Rice is a fly ball to left center. Back goes Wilson to the track. He makes the catch but stays in the yard. It is not a day that you're going to, right now, not a time you're going to blast one out of here. It's now 81 degrees as Tony Perez steps in. And the wind's howling in from right at 17. And the Red Sox are only featuring 2 left-handed hitters. Tony Perez at the plate. He's 1 for 2. He's got a double and an RBI. Pitch to Tony is a fly ball to center. Otis makes the catch, and that retires the side. Time to stretch it here in Kansas City. Red Sox 4, the Royals 3. And so Torres will probably get a base runner. How you doing, ID? Hope you are well, too. Pryor is 0 for 2. He has struck out. And like I said, Torres is on borrowed time, but he's on pace to pick up his 2nd win of the year. Pitch to Pryor. Fly ball to left center. Miller, 1 out. And so through 27 batters, Torres has gone a good 6 1/3 innings. He actually has acquitted himself quite well. 6 hits, the home run to Frank White. He has walked 3, struck out 1 on 107 pitches. Willie Wilson is 0 for 2 with a walk. Nobody on. 4-3 Boston, bottom of the 7th, 1 out. Torres delivers. Ground ball to Lansford. Gonna have to hurry over to Stapleton. And Wilson reaches on the bang-bang play. And so Ralph Hout comes out to get him. Let's see. It's righty, lefty. Which tells me that Tom Bergmeyer is coming in. Tom 2-0 on the year, an ERA of 2 flat. 18 innings, 18 hits, a lot of home runs. This is his 12th appearance of the year. He has not faced the Royals. He last pitched on the 12th, which would be Monday, 14, 13, Tuesday. 2/3 of an inning, didn't give up anything. He has walked 3 and struck out 14 on the year. And although we had them officially in 1982, this is the whole situation. Throw to first, Wilson back. I don't know why the heck Rockman was going. So John is 1 for 3. He has singled, scored, and stolen his 10th base of the year. Bergmeyer delivers. Fly ball to right center. Miller has it, 1 out. 2 out, pardon me. So George Brett 0 for 2 with a run scored and a walk. Bergmeyer's pitch. Ground ball to Remy. Over to Hoffman for the force, and the Red Sox get out of it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 7, Boston 4, Kansas City 3. So Jim Wright now working on his 4th full inning here of relief here in the 8th. Vida Blue felt some soreness in his arm, and that was just a quick hook. So Lansford, Stapleton, and Hoffman. And Carney is 0 for 2 with the walk and an RBI. Walked home a run in the 3rd, I believe. And he walks again. So the 3-2 split finger was low and away, and here comes the old pirate hand, Grant Jackson. We got a pitching change from Royal Stadium in Kansas City. It's Boston 4, Kansas City 3. So Grant Jackson is now in for his 12th appearance of the year. This has not been one that he can wrap himself in clover. No record, but an ERA that a Porsche would envy at 9.19. 15 2/3 innings, 26 hits, including 2 home runs. His last time out was against Milwaukee on Saturday. No, that would have been Monday. Threw a third of an inning and nothing else across. He's allowed 16 earned runs, walked 8, and struck out 3 on the year. Somehow he doesn't have a record. He'd like a win today. Here's Stapleton. He's 1 for 3 with a single. Lansford on first. Ground ball to Pryor. Only throw is to Aikens at first. And Stapleton is out. Thanks to the new subscriber, free JJU. I believe you marked 211. So Glenn Hoffman at the plate. Glenn is 0 for 3. Lansford moves into scoring position. I hope you're feeling better too. And again, our thoughts, prayers, and best wishes are with our buddy Dave Gardner. So Hoffman is 0 for 3. Jackson is ready. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. So the Red Sox have got a chance to do some damage here at the top of the 8th. Royals guard the lines. So Brett and Aikens are leaving big holes in the gaps for Gary. Nope. Oh yeah, left-hander. For Gary Allenson, who is 1 for 3. He has singled and struck out. Runners on first and second. And Allenson swings and misses on an 0-2 pitch for strike 3. Big out for Jackson, and that brings up Rick Miller. Rick is 1 for 3. He has singled, struck out, and scored. Jackson's pitch, Miller. Fly ball, left center. Otis makes the catch, and that retires the side. 7.5 in the books at Kansas City. Boston 4, the Royals 3. Baseball demos. If Jackson was arrested, he would have a record. Oh, if Jackson was a brother of a certain group, he'd have several records. I expect to see some response to that in about 90 seconds. Here's Willie Aikens. He's 1 for 3. Bergmeyer will stay in. And then it'll be base runner special because those are the only 2 lefties in the lineup. Willie's at 1 for 3. He's got a single and an RBI. 4-3 Boston, bottom of the 8th. Action Jackson. Aikens sharply hit to Stapleton. Takes it to the bag himself for the out. 1 out. So Amos Otis is the batter. Amos is 2 for 3. He has singled twice and driven in a run. The Rear Admiral is here. Is this Chris Berman? Someone want to put Mr. Parks in timeout. You know, I did a Skip Carey impression yesterday, but for you, all your lunchtime, it's Marcel Marceau. And I can't believe that Chris Berman is doing Red Sox games on the radio this year. That just grinds my gears. So Otis, I told you what Amos is up to. Pitch from Bergmeyer. There's a ground ball to third. Lansford better hurry over to Stapleton. And they got him. 2 out for Hal McRae. Hal is 1 for 3 with a single. Bergmeyer has retired all 4 men he's faced. Here's the pitch. Here's a sharply hit ball to Lansford down the line over to Stapleton, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We've played 8. OG warming up with his ladies of the ring. Boston 4, Kansas City 3. It's okay, he needs a hobby. Famous Amos, one small. Oh, demos. As long as I can get the Milwaukee radio station, I'll be happy. What do you need the Milwaukee radio station for? I was kidding about putting the Rear Admiral in timeout. Or in the brig. I guess that would be the more appropriate pun there, wouldn't it, Clinton? So it'll be Remy, Evans, and Rice here in the 9th. Remy is 2 for 4. He has singled twice and scored. Grant Jackson is in to finish this, I think. The pitch to Remy is a ground ball up the middle, right by the bag at second, over to Aikens. For the out. Oh, you want some Euchre, huh? Must be in the front row. I like Bob Euchre too. Euchre, honestly, is underrated as an announcer. You know, he tells a lot of jokes and is a very funny guy. And, you know, not many people make the majors. Let's do that. And he was quite honest that he wasn't very good. But he turned that into a cottage industry and is a national treasure. Deserves to be in the Hall of Fame as a broadcaster. Dwight Evans deserves to be in the Hall of Fame too. He's 2 for 3 with a triple and a single. A walk, an RBI, and a run scored. Jackson's pitch is a fly ball to shallow center. Otis catches it for the out. I tell you what, we got Milwaukee on Tuesday afternoon against the Angels, and if you don't just do the whole Marceau thing, then there might be some Euchre if I know you're listening. Oh, absolutely. No, Euchre's really good. Same with Gary Giola. He was my idol as a little kid. Then I got to spend my Saturdays with some guy by the name of Vin Scully. And ho, do I get some Dodger dogs for that. Throw your sombrero in the air. Here comes Fernando Valenzuela. All right, Rice has a home run. Nobody on, 2 out. 1 for 3. His solo shot in the 5th gave the Red Sox the lead. Pitch from Jackson. There's a little looper in the center, and Otis makes the catch to retire the side. So Kansas City goes to the bottom of the 9th. Nothing across for the Red Sox. They're going to let Bergmeyer try to finish this out. Boston 4, Kansas City 3. Well, so here's Jerry Martin, Frank White, and Greg Pryor. Martin 0 for 2 with a walk. Bergmeyer's only walked 3 all year, which it means I've just jinxed him. Bergmeyer delivers, and strike 3. He got him on the inside corner, and that's the first for Bergmeyer. 1 out. So the Red Sox would go to 18-16 if they can pull this out. 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors, 8 left on. Royals, 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors, and 6 left on. White 1 for 3. His bomb in the 5th, or the 4th, made it 3-3. Bergmeyer's pitch. There's going to be a base hit in the right center field. White has speed. And they're not going to play around. All right, it's Midol time. Here comes Bob Stanley. In for the save. The Steamer is 2-2 on him. Hear what you say. The ERA 6. In 15 innings, he's allowed 26 hits. A homer, walked 7, and struck out 4. This is his 13th appearance of the year. He last pitched 6 days ago. He threw an inning and 2/3 against the Rangers. 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. Walked 1 and struck out none. His last strikeout was ironically against these Royals on April 28th. Since then, well, his ERA dropped from 6.75 after that appearance to 6. So the tying run is on for White. Cardiac time here at Royal Stadium. Pryor is 0 for 3 with the strikeout, and a wonder. Oh, he can bunt. So Stapleton and Lansford come in to play the bunt. All out to bring up Cesar Geronimo, who will not bunt. And they'll play back normal. So Geronimo's at 265 with 3 solo shots, which means he has 3 RBIs. He's the winning run at the plate. Wilson on deck. Stanley delivers, and there's a sharp hit ball in the right field. Wright will hold at second, and so now the winning run is on first, and there's 1 out for Willie Wilson. Willie has a single and a walk. He's 1 for 3. Stanley delivers, and there's a liner right to Remy. Oh my goodness. It wasn't a great catch, but if you're a Red Sox fan, you'll take it out any way you can get it. Nuclear explosion, power outage, whatever. So 2 out for John Wathan, who has 1 game-winning RBI on the year. 1 for 4 today. Stole a base, singled, and scored a run. So the tying run is on second. The winning run is on first. Stanley from the stretch. Ground ball up the middle. Stanley stabs it. Throws to Stapleton, and the Red Sox win it. 4-3. It's never easy when the rapid one is on the mound. But the Red Sox go to 18-16 with a 4-3 win. Boston 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Kansas City 3 runs, 9 hits, no errors. If you were late, the Red Sox got 2 in the first. Dwight Evans with the triple to make it 1-0. Tony Perez with a fly ball. Sac fly to make it 2-0. Kansas City tied it right back off of Mike Torres. Willie Aiken single scored John Wathan. And then Amos Otis single to score George Brett 2-2. Carney Lansford walked with the bases loaded in the third to make it 3-2 Boston. And then Frank White hit 1 out in the berm in center field to make it 3-3 in the fourth. But the game winner goes to Jim Rice. Opposite field shot to right made it 4-3 Red Sox in the fifth, and they held on. Dwight Evans 2 for 4 with a triple. Frank White 2 for 4 with a triple. So Vida Blue had some great relief from Wright, who came in when Blue's arm became sore, and then Grant Jackson with a good last 2 innings. Mike Torres goes to 2-1, 6 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs all earned. A homer, he walked 3 and struck out 1. He had minus stuff. Would you believe that? He had minus stuff and still pitched that well. And so did Bergmeyer, who only allowed 1 hit over 2 innings. And then Stanley got his 3rd save, gave up a hit in the 3 batters he faced. All righty. Oh, I got to play the rest of the day, don't I? Well, you get to see me on camera for a moment. Three games in our normal slots next week. Tuesday afternoon, it is California at Milwaukee. Wednesday night in prime time, it's the Phillies and the Braves, and I'll check to see where. I think that game's in Atlanta. And then Thursday at lunch, it'll be California at Detroit. Now, the rest of this Saturday in baseball, the Tigers moved to 25-7. They beat the Twins 7-6. Chet Lemon's 2 homers, or 2 for 4 with his 5th homer of the year and 2 RBI. Pittsburgh beats the Reds 6-1. Rick Rhoden shoots a 68 and goes to 6-2 on the year. Jason Thompson, by the way, has 14 home runs. He hit 2 for Pittsburgh on the Saturday afternoon. Cubs beat the Astros 4-3. Fergie Jenkins goes to 4-4. Leon Durham, his 10th home run of the year. Oakland beat the Yankees 7-4. Rick Langford goes to 6-2 and then gets a Tommy John surgery. Dwayne Murphy 2 for 4 with a triple. St. Louis, who we featured last night or yesterday, shut out Atlanta 6-0. Martin gets the win. He goes to 4-2. Dale Murphy 2 for 3 with 2 doubles. Philly down San Francisco 3-1. Larry Christensen goes to 3-4. Lee May with the 2nd homer of the year. Expos beat the Padres in 15, 2-1. Gorman gets his first win. Eric Schau takes a loss. Chris Spire 4 for 6. Dodgers beat the Mets 9-6. Ted Power goes to 3-0. Pete Guerrero 2 for 4, including his 11th home run of the year. Toronto, the big surprise. They're 6.5 out of first, but they're 19-14. They beat the Rangers 5-1. Jim Clancy goes to 6-2. Wright 3 for 4. The White Sox beat the Brewers 4-3. Britt Burns goes to 3-1. Moose Haas drops to 1-5. Ouch. Robin Yount 2 for 4, triple and a double. Angels beat the Indians 6-2. Jeff Zahn 7-0 on the year. Toby Harrah hits the 6th for the Indians. And finally, Baltimore goes to 20-12. They beat the Mariners 8-6. Scott McGregor goes to 3-2. So would you believe we are 7 weeks into this replay? The Philly game is in Atlanta, so expect to hear more Skip Carey. All right. Wrestling in about 28 minutes on the original Grognard's channel. His Ladies of the Ring will go at it. And then now we'll have, I believe, his Pirates and Braves. Strat What If. And so we'll do something for you tomorrow. I'm not sure what it is. But for now, I'm Ron Juckett for Retro Sports Network. Thank you very much, and we will talk to you the next time.